Orale, Cholo Trucker Wrestling Rehab. Shouts to all the junkies out there. All right, so Evolution, right? It was a success. Good PLE, man. All woman PLE. I enjoyed it. It was a great one. All right, so there's talks about, is there going to be another one, right? And right now it seems like they're kind of tossing it back and forth, and it looks like they're leaning towards yes. They just don't know if they're really going to have one next year or not. Now, to my understanding, Triple H doesn't really like having this Evolution PLD. Now, one can say, hey, have it. You know, like, what's wrong with you, man? Right? It's cool. It's good. You know, do it. I kind of want to look at it from the flip side of the coin, because at first I was just kind of like, hey, yeah, ever since they did Evolution, they should just keep on doing Evolution, right? Like an all-women's PLD. That's cool, man. Just, you know, let it ride, man, right? But then when I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, all right, why wouldn't Triple H like Evolution? Okay? Now, it's very easy to say, like, oh, you know, he doesn't like to back up the ladies or whatever, which that's not true, all right? Because he's done a lot for women's wrestling while he's been at the helm. But I kind of look at it, and I'm like, okay, wrestling has grown exponentially in the last decade. And women's wrestling has grown with it. Women's wrestling is bigger now than ever before. I mean, we're to a point where you could have more women matches on a Raw or a SmackDown or a PLD. Nobody would even notice. It didn't take like a full generation. It didn't take like a full, 30, 40 years to pass to reach to where we're at, right? When this whole, movement of, the women. Like, yeah, I mean, if you want to go back in the day with the Trish and the Litas, and even further back with the Landra Blaze, Medusa, or even go back even further than that, sure, you could start counting it from way back then, but since like, man, probably even a little bit more than 10 years now, but let's just stick with 10 years, right? How much women's wrestling has grown. It's just grown with the WWE. It's just grown with wrestling. Like I said, I don't even know how many times women have main evented a Monday Night Raw, and it's not a big deal anymore. It was once upon a time. I remember watching Lita and Trish when they did it. But now, I remember somebody was talking about it a few years ago. It's like, hey, there was more women matches than there were men matches, and nobody even cared. Nobody even said anything, right? I'll put the windows down. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. And wasn't that the goal for women? To just be treated as wrestlers? Now, again, I'm not against Evolution, all right? If they continue with Evolution, that's fine. I'll tune in and I'll enjoy it as long as they put on a good product, right? Not every PLD is great. But at the same time, I can somewhat understand, like, well, what do we need it for? Like, women's wrestling, it's there. It's up there. I'm starting to get a little windy here. But it's up there. We can have, at a PLD, now that they're, doing 5-match PLDs, not every PLD, but you can have 3 women matches and 2 men's matches. Nobody's going to say a word. I don't even know if people will even notice or say anything. I mean, if you're looking for hey, we're looking to, put it on equal terms here, men's wrestling and women's wrestling. I would say it's there. Nobody really cares about it anymore. Nobody really cares about, hey, this is women's wrestling over here and this is men's wrestling over here. Like, no, they don't belong in the same spectrum. Like, women's wrestling still trying to get to where the men are. Like, no, they're pretty much just on the same show. The storylines, depending what storylines we're talking about, the storylines are great. I mean, heck, my favorite wrestler right now is Charlotte Flair and has been my favorite wrestler for quite a few years. Men or women. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying as a whole, Charlotte Flair's been my favorite wrestler for, I don't know, quite a few years, man. Maybe about a decade. It's not really that much of a movement anymore. It's not that much of a big deal anymore. At least not to, look, at least not from what I see. Sure, can you find some people where, oh man, they still want to make a big deal about it, or it's still a big deal to them? I guess. I don't see anybody making a big deal about it. I don't see anybody saying, putting, differentiating the women and the men's and their storylines. And it's like, oh man, you know what? That they need to put more women matches over here. And like, no, man, it's just all wrestling. It's just all there together. I'm interested in, take a look at the names that you got. Look, Mommy's a huge superstar. Huge. She actually lost a little bit of steam. But at one point, I thought she was probably up there kind of neck and neck with the tribal chief, man. Like I said, she may have lost a little bit of steam. But again, if they want to continue evolution, I'm not against it. That's fine. Do evolution, keep it rocking and rolling, go ahead. All right? I'm just simply saying, if Triple H is like against it, I don't think he's, again, I don't know Triple H. I'm just saying, I don't think he's against women's wrestling. I just think the goal is done. Now it's just all intertwined. It's just all wrestling. Now let's just go out there and make it happen. Let's just go out there and put on some shows. Let's just go out there and do the Royal Rumbles, the WrestleManias, the SummerSlams, the Survivor Series, and all the PLEs in between. Let's just go out there and put on good storylines. Let's go out there and sell out. Let's just go out there and do it like there, right? That movement, I'm not really sure it's a movement anymore. I don't think it's needed anymore. You got female wrestlers that are huge superstars. Huge superstars. I just don't see the need for it anymore. That's not to say that I'm against it. Go ahead, continue it. That's fine. I'll tune in. But is it really needed? It's all intertwined. You just mix the women in there with the men, and the storylines, and you have the PLDs, and who has more matches? Like I said, sometimes the women's have had more matches. Man, it's not a big deal anymore. Nobody even notices it anymore. There's been SmackDowns and Raws where there have been more female matches. The women have gotten more TV time as a whole than the male on some of the Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns. Nobody even notices. So, again, if they want to continue with evolution, if they don't, I don't really care. I'll watch it. If they discontinue it, that's fine. I think the movement is done. Now just go out there and kick ass. What's your guys' thoughts? Total Trucker Wrestling Rehab. Shout out to all the junkies. Catch you guys on next one.